for this afternoon's meeting. Now to call the meeting to order, may we call on President Bing Matoto.
Good afternoon, fellow members. This is calling the meeting to order.
And for the invocation, please welcome Mr. Attorney Boy Arteche. Please all stand and remain standing for the national anthem, followed by the RC Makati hymn.
Buenos días a todos, caballero y caballera. Me llamo Attorney Boy Arteche para servir a usted. Oremos todos. Let us pray. Lord Jesus Christ, Rotarians worldwide acknowledge your power and your expectation that we be of service to mankind. Let us renew our obligations to fulfill that expectation, just as the return of spring renews growth in the world, with a new commitment to help others in our community, our nation, and our world. With the power, influence, and wealth that we, as leaders in this place, most certainly have. Let us always remember that these are blessings from you, and that charity is more fulfilling than decadence, and the golden rule a much wider yardstick than any bank account. My friends, an invocation is a traditional prayer for the support, counsel, or indulgence of an almighty power upon the work of a body of people such as Rotary Club of Makati. In preparing today's invocation, I was reminded that several men of science, including Ben Franklin, Albert Einstein, all believe in the presence of God, particularly as manifested in the remarkable nature order of the world. So today, my brothers and sisters in Rotary, I offer this prayer. Let us bow our heads. Lord Jesus Christ, you have given us a strong desire to do good, to be honest, to serve others, and to faithfully fulfill your obligations to our neighbors. Help us as Rotarians and humans to do good. Help us, Rotary Club of Makati, to be honest and ethical in all our dealings. Lord Jesus, help us to serve others, and help us to faithfully fulfill our obligations as neighbors to our community, our nation, and the world. All this we ask in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. En el nombre del Padre y del Espíritu Santo. Amen.
Thank you, Attorney Boy. Please remain standing for the national anthem, followed by the RC Makati.
Witness a history in our lifetime as we bring back to life what a true Rotarian should be. Service above self, unity in diversity, and inclusivity, all for one and one for all. This is our chance. This is our time to rise up and be the example of what humanity can achieve. Together, let's create hope in the world. So let us sing with one voice the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
And together we stand proud. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way, giving hope to the world. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, prepared to aid our fellow men. As true Rotarians we live to lead. We believe in service above self, and this is why we succeed. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, and together we stand proud. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way, giving hope to the world. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, giving hope to the world. The Rotary Club of Makati.
Right, you may now take your seats, except for my fellow Rotarians. For the four-way test, please. Please repeat after me. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right, thank you very much, fellow Rotarians. You may now take your seats. Moving on to our program. Let us now go to the acknowledgement of guests and visiting Rotarians. Starting off with our dignitaries who are present this afternoon. We have PDG Tony Kila. PDG Sid Garcia. PDG Peps Benson. Here. And DGN Reggie Nolido. Now let's go to
Today, we are honored with the visit from a very special guest of mine, His Excellency Ioannis Pediotis, His Excellency, the Ambassador of Greece to Philippines.
welcome,
And
Your Excellency.
the reason is because the president of the International Federation of Honorary Consuls is here too, and his name is Nikos Margaropoulos. He is DGE of Greece, and he is the honorary consul of the Philippines to Greece, where he has been serving since 1995. A true Rotarian at heart. Let's give him a big, big hand.
Welcome, Ambassador and DGE Margolupulo. Now for, we have a good number of aunts present this afternoon. Starting off with former First Aunt Tess Asioche. Past First Aunt Tesha Garcia. Past President and soon to be First Aunt Rachel Harrison. Ann Cathy Liu. Ann Maida Prieto. And future First Aunt as well. Past First Aunt Kat Rufino. Future First Aunt Marie Sigura. And also future First Aunt Ami Villatuya. Sensya na kayo, hawak ko yung microphone this afternoon. And of course, past President Freddy already mentioned his guests. We also have CB Revilla, incoming member. Welcome. Aaron Mimpin, guest of Rotarian Anton Cabrera, prospective member. Shaira Rona, Miss Rotary. There she is. Shelo Ligaspi, guest of Rotarian Sani Tambunting. With the picture of the child. You know the things protruding. So apologies, I missed the spouse of Mr. CV Revilla. We also have here with us Meg Revilla. Teddy Montilibano, Daily Tribune. Compi Manalo, Daily Tribune. And the guests of President Bing, Romy Carlos. And finally, Mr. Robert Aranton of UP Alumni Association. Welcome to everyone. Of course, we have our guest speaker, Mr. Paco Sandejas, Dr. Paco Sandejas, who will be properly introduced later on. Now, let's have our Rotary Choral led by Attorney Asioche. Kumakas yata. Who else are here? Oh, President David, past President David. For the welcome song, please. Tinakbuhan ka, pasensya na. Ha? Okay, please join me.
Friends of Rotary, we greet you. So friends of Rotary, we greet you. We want you to feel that a friendship is glad. We are glad you're here today. So take back home a bit of cheer. Regards from the fellows here. And when Near our door, come again, our friends come again.
All right, thank you, fellow Rotarians and PP David. Now let's go to the next part of our program. For the greetings to birthday and wedding anniversary celebrators, we have for the Rotarians, we have PP Conrad Marty.
Yes.
It's today, March 5. Happy birthday, PP Conrad. Oh, he's not here? Okay, for the Rotarians, we have Grace Ann, March 9. Sally Ponce Enrile, March 12. For the wedding anniversaries, we have Paquito and Joyce Dison, March 6. Butch and Army Jimenez, March 6. Philip and Inday Malyari, March 8. And PP Fred and Menchu Pascual, March 10. Past President David, may we request you again to sing for us the
Hindi na ako nakasubo. Okay, okay.
birthday and
Sunny.
song. Yeah. Oh, there is Sunny as well.
It is your birthday.
Lyrics.
Ano ba the word?
It's your
Birthday, your wedding day. Let's celebrate this important day. We greet you deep in our hearts, dear. A happy birthday and happy wedding.
Thank you.
That's
Rotarian
my
Junior
classmate.
PP David.
Thank you. Sunny Jr., ladies and gentlemen.
Galing tumakas talaga si Attorney Louie, no? Okay, now let's go to the recognition of Paul Harris Fellows or Fellow. May we call on PDG Tony Kila.
Thank you, Chris. May I call on Michael Chu to get his first Paul Harris Fellow and President Bing to do the pinning. After Michael, we will have about 7 baby Rotarians who are not yet Paul Harris Fellows. So may I appeal to them to become Paul Harris Fellows so that our club become again 100% Paul Harris Fellow club. Stop CB first before he changes his mind. Thank you, Chris. Okay. Now we'll have our induction. May I call on our new member to be inducted, Carlos Benedict Revilla, CB Revilla. And may I call on Mignon here to please join us. Now, our charging officer is no other than Governor Sid Garcia. And by the way, let us congratulate Governor Sid for being appointed Vice Chair of the RI International Convention in 2028.
Hello, CB and Meg. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Makati. On behalf of all the members of this distinguished club, we welcome you, and we hope that you will be a proud addition to our roster of outstanding members. You may know it that this year is a special year for us as we are celebrating the month of March as our 58th charter anniversary. And we hope that you will take time to join us at the Manila Polo Club on the 15th of March, wherein we will celebrate this occasion. At the same time, launch the Paenga Chanova Youth Leadership Awards. As you have been briefed by past Governor Tony Quila in the pre-induction briefing, you know that the objective of Rotary is to foster the ideal of service as a worthy enterprise. And let me just remind you about a few things, how we can do that. First of all, acquaintance as an opportunity to serve. We have about more than 135 members here, and it is your assignment, CB, to know each one of them, at least the nickname. So, and how do you do that? I would like to admonish you to attend regularly our meetings, like what we have every Tuesday lunch, participate in our various committees and social events. In this way, you will learn each member and the talents and the occupations that they have so that you can be able to really gel with all the members of this club. So you think you can be attending our meetings regularly, CB? Great. Second, Rotary is about promoting high ethical standards. You probably know even before you joined Rotary that we have the four-way test. But at the end of the day, it boils down to just one word: integrity. And in Rotary, we value integrity, and we would like you to be a man of honor, just like what most of us here, if not all, in Rotary. As you will see later on, we value not only a man, a woman to be of his word, but at the same time, we value vocations. That's why you have been given a classification. What is this classification, Gov. Tony? Commercial real estate. So we are lending that to you during your term here in the Rotary Club of Makati. And we would like you to use your expertise. Let's say you are in law or you're in corporate affairs, to use that. How you can enhance the operations of this club and how we can reach out to the communities we serve. Third, aside from that area, Rotary is all about service, as you know. And we have more than 50 committees, from feeding malnutrition, for entrepreneurship, for taking care of those who are in drugs rehabilitation, to building home for the poor, and so forth and so on. We just have a lot of projects And I would like to encourage you to at least join one, because Rotary without service is not meaningful. And all the members of this club have been always encouraged to join any one committee. And of course, you have your aunt here, Meg. Meg, do we have your permission for him to be active in our meetings? All right. So Meg, we look forward also to seeing you. We have a big group of aunts who will welcome you and help participate in all these activities what we have. Finally, Rotary by itself is called Rotary International. So you can see the internationality of Rotary. We have more than 1.2 million members, about 300 clubs, 300 districts all over the world. And our club alone has about 10 sister clubs. So we would like also to ask you to get involved in Rotary by supporting all our activities with other sister clubs in different parts of the world. And finally, as a new Rotarian, I would like to request you to please pay your dues regularly. So without that, our club cannot run. So we need you to please pay your dues as they're sent to you, so that we'll be able to run smoothly all operation. So with that, I would like to ask our president, President Bing. I think CB is ready for it to be inducted. May we request everyone to please rise for the induction of CB.
All right, CB,
Hi, Bing.
you ready?
Yari.
Okay, just repeat after me.
I,
State your name, please.
CB Revilla,
After being sworn in as a member
for being sworn in as a member
of the Rotary Club of Makati,
of the Rotary Club of Makati,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will abide by,
that I will abide by
follow and uphold
and uphold
all the provisions
all the provisions
of the Constitution
of the Constitution
and bylaws
and bylaws
of Rotary International,
of Rotary International,
as well as those of my Rotary Club,
as well as those of my Rotary Club,
and fulfill
and fulfill
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
all the duties and responsibilities
all the duties and responsibilities
of my membership.
of my membership.
I pledge to advance
I pledge to advance
the object of Rotary
the object of Rotary
and to exemplify
and to exemplify
Rotary's maxim,
Rotary's maxim,
service above self.
service above self.
I further swear
I further swear
to promote awareness
to promote awareness
of the theme of Rotary
of
International
the theme Rotary International
in 2023-2024,
in 2023-2024,
create hope in the world,
create hope in the world,
and of the duties
and of the duties
and responsibility
and responsibility
that go with it.
that go with it.
All these,
All these
I pledge freely and voluntarily,
I pledge freely and voluntarily,
without any mental reservation
without amendment or reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome, CB.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fellow Rotarians, you may now line up to sign
thank you.
the apron of our new Rotarian CB Revilla. Thank you, PDG Tony, PDG Sid, and President Bing for officiating the induction of CB.
Ready.
A miracle. So, dapat i-complete mo yung dapat.
You think that's an insurance system or?
Gobseed, you're still here? All right, welcome again to our new Rotarian, our baby Rotarian, CB Revilla. Let us now proceed to the club function and committee announcements. Is there anyone who would like to announce their respective committee functions and activities? Anyone? Okay. Past President Charlie. Okay. PP Freddy.
I'd like to invite all the hardworking Rotarians to the graduation of our batch of 30 children in Cabuyao. So this is the culmination of a 6-month feeding assisted program with Rotary Club of Makati as the main sponsor. We're also going to have some gift giving, and we would like to ask all of you kind-hearted Rotarians to see the work that your donations and your patronage has done. So you will see how these kids have blossomed and been able to attend school thanks to our generosity. So that's March 7 at Cabuyao. We have a van leaving Rotary Club of Makati building at 8 a.m. on March 7. Please come. Thank you.
Thank you, PP Freddy. Anyone else who has an announcement? Okay, let's now proceed to the next part of our program, the President's time. So may we call back on to the podium, President Bing Matota. President Bing, for the President's time.
Thank you very much, Chris. Good afternoon, fellow members and guests. Welcome again. Well, I'm happy to report to you our successful session last Friday, where we delved into the intricacies of the startup ecosystem. This event was marked the second installment of our Hatch program and was met with great enthusiasm from our members. It is heartening to witness such a strong commitment from our club to support and nurture young investors. In this regard, I would like to extend my gratitude to Director Bom Villatuya for spearheading the organization of this event. Thank you very much, Bom. His dedication to fostering innovation within our club is truly, truly commendable and serves as an inspiration to us all. I would also like to thank Roger Collantes for bringing Francis Ryan Simisim, whose insights added immense value to our discussions. In our continuous effort to support innovation, we recently met with Ambassador Ilian Plus of Israel to explore potential partnerships. Our discussions centered around opportunities for collaboration, including the exchange of expertise and the possibility of hosting an innovator's visit to Israel, assuming, of course, the war will be gone by then. These partnerships hold great promise for enhancing our Hatch program and contributing to the growth of the startup ecosystem in our country. I would also like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to our members who celebrated their birthdays in February and March for hosting a wonderful Friday Night Lights event last week. Your generosity in sharing your special day with the club is truly appreciated. And I encourage all our members, especially our new ones, to join us for the next Friday Night Lights in April for another evening of fun and camaraderie. The answer, of course, welcome. On the service front, I'm pleased to report that we conducted a successful breast and cervical cancer screening mission in Mahabang Parang, Angono, Rizal, serving 100 women in need. I would like to thank Past President Cesar Campos and retired Maribic Campos Lamers for their unwavering dedication to this cause, which is making a real difference in the lives of these women. Looking ahead, an RCM team will travel to Cabuyao, Laguna on Thursday, March 7 for the graduation of our feeding program, which has benefited 30 children. And I invite you to join PP Freddy and Jojo Borromeo and witness the first-hand impact of our efforts on these children and their families. Additionally, on Saturday, March 9 at 8:30 a.m., we will launch the Superior Hero program in partnership with the Natasha Goldborn Foundation at General Pio del Pilar National High School. This program aims to raise awareness about mental health and equip individuals with the skill to support their peers in times of emotional distress. I encourage you to join us for this important event. And I'm also proud to share that our club was honored at the TRF Gala Nights for our outstanding contribution to the Rotary Foundation. With a total contribution of $83,049, we achieved the highest contribution in our district. Let's give ourselves a big hand. Including our $5,140 contribution to the Polio Plus Fund. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to our individual members who donated $1,000 or more, earning them the title of Paul Harris Fellow. Special recognition goes to IPP, Michael and Papat Escaler for their generous contributions, making them the newest members of the Art Club Society, which, for your information, requires a minimum of $250,000. Thank you to all our members for your generosity and commitment to making our club truly great. As we enter the Lenten season, I would like to invite you and your aunt to join us for the annual spiritual recollection on March 14, followed by a Visita Iglesia on March 22. These events are a meaningful way for us to come together and reflect on our faith. And finally, I would like to remind you of our upcoming 58th Charter anniversary on March 15 at the Manila Polo Club. I've been requested by PP Louie to give special recognition to our host and hostess that evening, Rotarian Andre, and our Miss Rotary, Shara. Is it Shara? Ira. There they are. This year's event promises to be very memorable as we celebrate another year of our club's existence and honor the 10 youth awardees for our inaugural Paing Hichanova Youth Leadership Awards. In that event, we will be joined by our sister clubs, our RC Taoyuan from Taiwan, and our newest sister club from Korea, RC Yeyang, as well as Rotarians from our brother clubs. I would like to acknowledge those members who have volunteered to host dinner or lunch for the visiting sister clubs. I'm referring to Pipi Carlo and Kat Rufino. Let's give them a big hand. Director Johnny Yang, Michael Shu, and Paolo Tuno. I look forward to celebrating with you all and strengthening the bonds of friendship that unite us. Thank you all for your continued support and dedication to our club. Mabuhay ang Rotary Club of Makati.
Thank you, President Bing. Now let's go to the introduction of our guest speaker by Director Boom Bilatuya.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to introduce Dr. Francisco Paco Sandejas, a visionary leader whose journey seamlessly intertwines academia, innovation, and entrepreneurship and philanthropy. Armed with a PhD and MS in electrical engineering from Stanford University, Paco co-invented the grating light valve, one of Stanford's top-earning intellectual properties. However, Paco's impact extends far beyond academia. Transitioning effortlessly from Stanford to a serial entrepreneur, he founded and leads Nara Ventures, Septo Education, and StratPoint Technologies, which are all distinguished players in the technological landscape. StratPoint Technologies, under Paco's leadership, emerged as Philippines' most trusted global software development partner, specializing in enterprise-level digital transformation. Meanwhile, Septo Education provides digital transformation as an enabler for educational institutions through cloud-based learning systems. Paco's entrepreneurial acumen extends to high-stakes investments in IT-related technologies as managing partner of Nara BGN Ventures and Nara Venture Capital Management LLC. Paco's influence transcends the boardroom. He serves as an independent director on esteemed boards such as Sun Life of Canada, Philippines, Maya Bank, and Mapua University, driving digitization and setting new standards. Driven by a profound commitment to social betterment, Paco champions STEM education, innovation, and entrepreneurship as chairman of the Philippine S&T Development Foundation. His philanthropic endeavors seek to eradicate poverty in the Philippines through technology-driven empowerment. Paco's journey epitomizes the convergence of intellect, innovation, and altruism. With international patents, a plethora of board memberships, and a legacy of transformative impact, Paco Sandejas inspires aspiring entrepreneurs and change makers globally. In the dynamic landscape of technology and entrepreneurship, Paco Sandejas remains an unwavering force for progress, innovation, and social change. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for Dr. Paco Sandejas.
Thank you very much, Bom. I felt like I was dead already. That's so amazing. Such a nice. Thank you. Too generous. Too generous. Um, let's see. I'll put a timer just so I can just get ourselves under control here. I tend to talk a lot. So I want to talk to you about the suggested topic from BOM and President Bing on investment opportunities from the venture capital side. But I'd like to extend it to also from the Rotary side. I was just hearing that many of you are, of course, leaders in business as well, and also doing a great job with your own incubator, with your Hatch program. So I'll do my best to translate it into your context, but I'll leave a lot of time, hopefully, to just take your questions, because honestly, I feel like it's a little intimidating, right? You guys, many of you maybe have decades of experience ahead of me. I see Paquito Dizon there. He's my co-board director, and I learn a lot from him. He's my tukayo. And Big Matoto also, a long time ago when I came back with H&Q, you were helping us at BPI, I remember. So I'll do my best to just humbly share what I see from my perspective. 30 years investing in high technology. I didn't want to do like my father. You do real estate, you do many other things. I mean, you guys know how to do that, so I won't talk about that. I'll talk about the things that are unique from my perspective. So hopefully you learned something new. If you don't, just pretend that you did. So the next, oh, here's this. Oh, fantastic. So my topics will be just simple, three. Global VC trends, Southeast Asian VC or investment opportunities, and I'll do my best to really bring it home to you here in the Makati boardrooms or in your Manila Peninsula home for Rotary or in your Hatch group. No, finally, since you're all leaders, you probably can influence this country. Hopefully, we can take some actions that will lead to a better Philippines. We all envision a better Philippines, don't we? So maybe actions for your incubation and entrepreneurial group, your lobbying. I'll also leave time if you want to talk to me about the bad things that happen in venture capital or the good things as well when you make money, right? So I'd be happy to share with you some of those later if you want. But next topic is on the global VC trends. So now to my talk. I was reluctant because of the time. You guys are already very experienced. So I cheated. I actually wanted to run a demo. I wanted to run a demo and run a chat GPT or AI lookup and just show you that I don't need to talk. You don't even need to listen to me. Just enter in chat GPT. But since I know all of you can do that already, and if you don't, you should try it. But amazing. I was talking to my senior high school son, and he was telling, Papa, chat GPT is not as good as Bing and not Bing AI and not as good as Perplexity AI. So I entered it into Perplexity, and in 3 minutes, I had to think about what I was going to say. Coach Perplexity AI, enter it, and then it took it 2 minutes to come up with the answer, at least for, this is an example, right? I typed that, and the top investment areas for venture capital in 2024, it answered it. It's kind of like a fancier Google, right? Really, you guys know how to do Google, I hope. But really, the new skill is what they call prompt engineering. That's the know-how of how to enter into Google, right? But now it's knowing how to enter into an AI co-pilot or AI assistant. So if you don't know how to do that, we can talk about that, or you can ask your children or your nephews. But I tried to ask it. So it gave us 5 topics: healthcare technology, fintech, artificial intelligence, sustainability and clean technology, clean energy, e-commerce, and direct-to-consumer brands. So that's what it gave, right? It actually would do something that would, because this is 2024, and so honestly, when I would give talks like this, I've been doing this for 25 years. So I go in, Google was founded in 98, so there was no Google yet. So I had to go through all the research reports from Lehman Brothers, Morgan Stanley, and all the other groups that some of them don't exist anymore. Read up and prepare. And luckily also, because I'm a venture capitalist, many of the business plans would come to us. As long as you're in the right place, right? You get the right business plan. Being in Silicon Valley and being in Makati, you get some of the most interesting business plans. So you get a perspective, you see it. So I had my own Google in my head, but later on, when Google was there, then it became easier to search. But it would take me maybe at least 8 hours to prepare a talk like this, because I'm anal and very, very like a perfectionist, right? So you say 8 hours and you probably won't sleep. So today I got 4 hours of sleep. So better. But AI, Google, they're not perfect. That's my it's to me the top of the 5 that it gave us, right? It put it number 3. And in other searches, when I entered that into ChatGPT, EdTech came as number 5, which made me happy because I'm in EdTech, right? But in Perplexity, AI, EdTech didn't show up. It was replaced by e-commerce for global investments. And this is actually taken off investment charts of venture capital around the world. Where's the money going? And they just plot how many $1 million, how many $1 billion, then they plot the biggest industries, and then that's how this comes about. But some of the information is dated, and so I don't trust it as much yet. I do my own research. And so my own research, my own information, I listen to the podcast, I listen to the news, I listen to my friends, and the top thing on their mind is artificial intelligence and machine learning. It's so obvious. Like many years ago, only my super nerd math professor friends who you thought were crazy would talk about AI. And then my dad would come with his friends and say, Paco, we heard about expert systems. Can you buy me a book from the bookstore on expert systems? I was like, wow, my dad's ahead of his time, right? He's a nerd too, as many of you might know. So he asked me for that, but we didn't take it so seriously. We at least thought, okay, it's really just computer systems helping you decide. But today, actually not today, in November 2022, we all woke up to ChatGPT, and it just blew up the world. And now, 14 months later, 15 months later, we're seeing the immediate impact. And so you see the news last week. So there's a company called, what's this company? The company is called Klarna. Klarna is like a buy now, pay later financial services company. And they have a lot of employees doing customer support. They said that they put an AI machine to work, and it can do the work of 700 customer service people much more efficiently. On the day after Klarna made that Twitter announcement, or X now you call it, they put it, you know, this company that you might see in your BPO campuses, Charlie, right? Teleperformance. The stock went down 28% in one day. From 10 billion went to 7.2 billion in one day. So you can imagine the scary feeling of many of us who support the BPO, right? So it is very scary. It's going to affect jobs. It's going to affect productivity. But my talk today I'm not saying anything new. The experts will say, this is just like when we got computers. You will be able to become more productive. Being more productive means, though, the people who have the tools, or even if you don't have the tools, like we have in the Philippines, many poor, less privileged people. So Rotary, you're doing a great job helping educate these people, nourishing them, and then giving them an education. But those people in the BPO world, we have to upskill them. If you don't upskill them, this ambition of IBPAP is what, 1.5 million now, go to what, 2 million plus? We need to upskill because it might go down instead of up. So they have to know how to use these chat GPTs, the perplexities of the world. Even our people who do animation, there is an announcement of some big studio guy. He was going to put $800 million into a studio. He canceled that investment, 800 million. Why? Because he saw there's another demo I wanted to show you, but I was scared to, I'm talking about high tech, but I'm scared to do a high tech talk to you. I think in the PLDT, some of you were there, right? PLDT corporate governance. We're doing high tech, but the prompter wouldn't work, right? So there's just different infrastructure problems. So the other area that is hot around the world, you hear it, that's why Elon Musk, well, today he's the second richest. Sorry for him, no? So he went down a little bit, but he's the second richest today because of Tesla, SpaceX, etc. But everyone knows that clean energy is so important, renewable energy. Yesterday I had a presentation on solar panels, electronic tricycles, battery packs, all of that sadly, all is imported from China, right? It's not our own. Sana, we had it here in the Philippines, right? Those are the things we can invest in. But at least, maybe like the same way some of you dreamt of the automotive industry being in the Philippines, because we're always importing our cars, at least assemble it here. At least add some value. Cars now, because they're electric, a key part of the car is the software. So you guys can invest in software. What else? Carbon capture. The other interesting thing is that this is global, though. Later, in the next part of my talk, I'll talk about how we have to localize these opportunities, because you can't say, okay, if I wanted to build software for the Tesla, I kind of have to be in Silicon Valley or in Texas. We do in one of my companies, we do some outsource work for these companies, but the real important stuff is decided there. Other important opportunities, as the pandemic showed us, is in healthcare. So we invest in so many things. Of course, we're all buying drugs that help us live longer, be healthier, or fight disease. Now these drugs are being discovered using artificial intelligence because it's very expensive to formulate them. But because now in the computer level, you can break the molecule down into the atomic components and figure out what molecular bonds will form. And then you can build it like your simulated, Mr. Palafox said, you can build your buildings on a computer. You can build the drugs in a computer. So you only make it after you at least simulate it. So these are some amazing things. We also invest, like in Makati Med, we invest in medical devices and other biotechnologies. This is really hot because why all of the rich humans like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they want to live forever yata, right? So it's part of the God complex of the rich people. But tayo, we still need to live longer. We need to give good health to our citizens. So what do? We have to invest in healthcare because it's also a very expensive tax on our country if people, our workers, our families get sick. So now I'll try to bring the talk home. What about the opportunities for us here in Southeast Asia? So there were the 5 topics there. And those 3 that I just gave are global topics. And to be building NVIDIA chips, semiconductors, and manufacturing them, hard for us to do here in the Philippines. So I leave that to the global. But some of them can be done here in the Philippines. So that's why I leave the next part of the topic, the talk, to opportunities for us. What's hot for us in the Philippines? So many of you already, the pandemic said, hey, tama na yung cash. Or if you go to other countries, some of them, you can't even pay in cash anymore, right? You can't even buy your dim sum in Hong Kong with cash. They won't take it. So we all know about fintech. So there's GCash, there's PayMaya, there's digital banking. I don't know if you guys are now enjoying your $68,000 crypto Bitcoin. If you are, congratulations. But sell na. No advice. But I'm not. I don't have a Bitcoin. So anyway, AI financial institutions. AI is powering the financial applications also in our banks, in our insurance companies. So some amazing things, right? Of course, the potential impact for our citizens is the promise of all of these electronic wallets and the digital banks. The BSP allowed it. It's why we want to give financial inclusion to all our citizens. So costs should go down. And then for all of us, our customer service will be more specialized towards each of us. We'll have superior service, be able to do more things with your money, hopefully have higher returns on investment, and many other things. All of you are probably, or maybe not you, maybe your wives are shopping online, or your kids are buying all their takeout food now from Food Panda, Grab, or whatever, and less trips to the mall. Well, e-commerce is the big thing, obviously. But warning, right? So what I heard, Zalora's having a hard time. I don't really buy too much, but there's some of these companies that are really flying high, but there are risks, right? It's not easy. Many of these companies, like from the Rocket Internet Group, they just bought the market, right? They used the millions of dollars that they acquired from the investors and used it not to build product. They used it to acquire you by marketing and selling you, giving you freebies, get you hooked, like free drugs, right? Free drugs para ma-addict ka, and then no experience there, but it's what happens in marketing as well, right? So Southeast Asia is ripe for e-commerce solutions, including other things that are important like logistics, payment systems as well, which that's why they're connected. To me, this is the part that really touches my heart, and I ended up investing it because, one, the DepEd secretary then asked us, please help educate the poor. BPO, you need to educate your workers. But sadly, now I just went through an assessment because now our platform allows us to have so much data. We have access to the tests that these kids take. And so many of the kids at 11th grade and 12th grade, their reading level is from grade 2 to 8 only, international level, in our public schools. I saw it firsthand because I saw the tests, right? And I did it as best as I could sample without biases. I don't let the DepEd tell me, take it from here, take it from there. I just did a sampling of 200 kids. I did it myself. Really bad. So we really need to do this. We have a large undereducated population, and our BPO workers, as you might see, you might suffer this, right? You ask somebody to give you advice or customer service, they'll only repeat a script. We ask them to think beyond the script, they can't do it. Or us as managers, we don't empower them to make a decision. So they're never trained to decide for themselves. So they're going to be replaced by robots because that's all you make them do, to repeat a script, an FAQ or frequently asked question. So we need to train them. That's why the opportunities here are digital learning platforms, online courses, and then educational software. AI, again, that's why I put in the top. AI is going to power education as well. You all know Khan Academy, right? Khan Academy now has a Khan tutor so that you can simulate the ideal situation for education is one-on-one, right? It's not really mass production, 25 if you're rich enough. If you're poor, you're 40. If you're really poor, you're in a public school with 50 to 60 kids in a room, right? Ideally, it's one-to-one. So that's what AI can do. So global reach, lower costs. Now, this is just an example of the mobile app because the internet in the Philippines, that's what we do, right? The Coursera, Khan Academy, you do all of that. But in the Philippines, what happens? Some of the reports, there are many people who speak better than me. They'll have reports, they have BCG. You can Google it. You get another talk like mine, but on paper, and instead of sitting here for 2 hours, you can read it in probably 10, 20 minutes, right? There are good papers from groups like Gobi and there are other VCs there that you can ask for their papers, right? You can just Google it. But the things you learn is it has to be localized. So there's no internet in the Philippines. They say there is in those papers, but when I go to the schools, so many of them don't have internet. Then they don't even have the device. They don't have laptops like we do. So they're lucky if they have a smartphone. But many of them do. Then the DepEd naman, so the VCs like me say, oh, we have like 83% penetration of internet and usage because we're all on Facebook. But the DepEd will tell you, ay, wala kami internet dito. So forever, whatever your purpose is, you're saying something, right? But you really have to go to the field to understand the real problem. And the real problem is a mix of both. So you solve those problems. And then you use the data. That's why you have to spend a lot of time connecting everything. Of course, respecting data privacy. So this data is really helping the DepEd and even if you guys are running your companies, you're training your people, you pay maybe 10,000 per person to train them. Or for us, corporate governance, you go to a seminar. Did you really listen? Did you really understand, or you fell asleep, or you were just texting your friends, right? Test them. So this is what will happen. So anyway, there's many other things that we can invest in the Philippines and in Southeast Asia. I believe that everyone talks about AI and data all around the world. But why will we not have a self-driving car in the Philippines? Not now, right? Unless you keep it on, I think some of you are in the bus business, right? Or keep it in one lane, right? It will drive in one lane like a train. But if you put it on a road that the markers are wrong, the computer won't know where to look, and then you'll crash, right? So there are many other things that are needed. You need the infrastructure. You need the sensors. You need the internet connectivity, the data collection services. So in some of the companies I'm involved with, a simple problem like putting CCTV cameras that actually work, that your employees don't turn off because they're going to steal from you. You have to know how to handle all of that. And there's so many details to handle that, right? Because you're fighting human behavior as well for fraud. And then our telcos will also highlight the cloud and the data centers, right? So that's why they work with us to build the cloud. So, I'm not such an expert here, but this is another hot topic. Food. The person I was talking to yesterday talking about renewable energy. The other business that she makes a lot of money on was tofu, soy produce, right, from China. So anyway, there's so many other areas. You guys might have tried the Impossible Burger, and if all of you, if you're trying to fight your cholesterol and you want to avoid meat, you want to be vegan, alternative, whatever, right? So many things. I'm not the expert there, but those are other opportunities. And the Philippines and Southeast Asia, we're still a large population. We're not really well served. We're still growing as an economy very quickly. We're beating China, so good, right? What are the other things? Like, aside from food, water, waste management, housing, transport, on the drive over here, one of the hot topics in one of my Silicon Valley podcasts, it was an interview with the CEO of Palantir. You know Palantir, the Peter Thiel company? These guys do AI and data for military defense. And in the past, people said, oh, us engineers will never work for the CIA. We won't build weapons. We won't. But what Hamas and Ukraine teach us is that we have to defend ourselves. We can't even protect our fish, right? Or our island. So we've got to find a way to protect ourselves. And we're going to buy all the equipment from where? Our own enemies. So we have to take care of ourselves. So I don't know. So maybe some of us engineers have to invest in, I think at least cyber security, protecting yourselves, protecting your banks, protecting your companies, protecting your data. And if you can, I guess if the ambassadors are here, the Israelis talk about their air defense, their shield. So many interesting things. So anyway, I'll talk about accelerating startup success here in the Philippines with the time I have left. How do we do this? All of these things I talked about are really useless if we don't have engineers. Because we'll all be business people with money, and we say, oh, I want to build a Palantir. I want to build a cyber, or I want to build an AI company. But if you don't have engineers, and they're not good, or maybe we have good engineers here for sure, right? There are many of us know startups with really smart people. But you know what my challenge is in my startups? Finding more. Because as you succeed, you grow. Then I need to build the AI to compete with Khan Academy or put the AI that they're putting. I have to do the same thing. I'm going to compete with China. I'm going to compete with India. How do I do that? This is just, I like to compare it to building your Gilas football team, or it's no longer called Ascals. I think Freddie changed the name, but whatever the football team is, we need more players. We need grassroots engineers. We need to build them. These ladies are award-winning from Batangas State. They won a business plan contest, and they're engineers. We need more like them. And we need higher quality education. It's sad that the quality of our engineering is going down. We have to raise it. Ask yourselves, will you send your family members to the engineering schools here, or are you going to send them to go abroad? If you send them abroad, clearly we have a problem, right? So I know it's not for us to fix immediately, but let's work together. Rotary, you guys are so powerful. You do so many good things. If you can help your schools to focus on engineering and also science, because science, like AI is a lot of math, do it. Then we have to invest in giving them practice. So I recruited the best players for my team, but I don't give them a football field, or I don't give them the proper basketball courts. I don't give them time to play against others. Wala, sayang, right? You brought them, but nothing. They'll just rot. So what do our Filipino women do? They go to LA, they go to Australia. That's the only place they can play against players of their caliber. We need to bring the fields here. So we need to bring research and development. We need to give them laboratories. Luckily, in AI and computer science, the laboratories now are cheaper. I don't need to build huge data centers. I can use Amazon. I can use Azure. So these are amazing things. Then that's for our students. For those that already work with us, like if you have people in your banks or your companies, upskill them, give them a budget, let them train, let them play with these co-pilots, AI, let them take a continuing course, even on Coursera or MIT edX, etc. And finally, you guys are all smart, very experienced. I recommend we all work together and we mentor. And I think you're already doing it at Hatch, so kudos to you guys. But that's something I really encourage. And at FieldDev, we do that. We take that so seriously. So we focus on scholarships, we focus on helping them innovate, we focus on mentoring them because we don't want them to give up. Many of them will give up. And then, of course, we have to talk about venture capital, which is the fuel or the gasoline that feeds this. So quickly, I recommend you invest in startups, or you guys in your companies buy from the startups. A problem in our purchasing, we always say, I can't buy from you. You're too small. You might die. Well, of course, they'll die if you don't buy from them, right? So it's chicken and egg. So we have to give them a chance. Because, by the way, these young startups, I know because I'm one of them, I will support you. I will die for you. Because if I don't, voila, I won't have a company anymore. Whereas the big companies, you try to call their customer care, lucky if they answer your call, right? Right? We all know this. So take advantage. Some of these startups, they'll really work with you. And maybe together with the startups, your own company might be able to develop some unique product or unique service that can differentiate you from your own competitors if you work with a startup that you trust. But make sure you trust them. Then, in the Philippines, we like to criticize ourselves. We're crabby sometimes. Celebrate the successful guys, even if it's not yours. It's hard, I know. Sometimes you're inggit. But no, this is like we're building the Philippine team. We're not building my barangay team, right? The barangay is just the start. We want to build the Philippine team so we don't buy from our foreign counterparts all the time. Of course, there's some things we can't buy. I can't grow soy here, so yeah, soy from others. But I'll hopefully sell them other things. Anyway, I have comments about venture capital from the corporates. I prefer the venture capital comes from you guys who are not going to force the entrepreneurs to be bought by that corporate. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if conglomerate A invests in the startup and they have a tied business, they will buy you. And that's your only option because they're in your board. And they know all your secrets. So venture capital in its ideal situation, it's from people who are really interested in your success as a company on its own, not as a company acquired by them. So you have to think about the motivations in your boardroom. So there's many other things I can talk about. We can leave that for the Q&A, but I can end here. Regulatory, there's so many commentaries about regulatory. Even the government should buy from the startups, right? They have that, their procurement is the worst, right? Okay, so I'll end here. To me, I think my partner, Dado, he's retired now, but he said it best. All the things we talk about, there's opportunities globally. There's opportunities right in front of us. If you look around, I'm sure you're going to be unhappy about the services that you meet, that you
are inadequate to meet the demands or the skill set required by the industries. So how now do we bridge that gap so that the education system can provide the required skill set needed by the industries, so we can we can be ready, or our students will be ready for these 21st century jobs, especially well, some companies, some rich companies are upskilling their employees. They have their own program to upskill their employees, so that they will have a skill set that are adequate for their own requirements. So but holistically, how do we do that? How do we bridge that gap?
So sadly, this is a question that has been asked for, I don't know, maybe 60 years, 50 years. My father says that he's so tired talking about it also. Luckily, they're well-meaning and good people. I think there's now another congressional committee. It's called EdCon 2, that they're trying to discuss these kinds of reforms. But honestly, I guess there's also a cultural problem we have. We have to somehow help our academics leave their ivory tower and join us. But we also, as you guys are in Makati, right? So sadly, I know many Makati business people don't want to go to UP and Diliman anyway. So it's like chicken and egg. Like, guys, we have to work together. Luckily, there's Zoom now. So at least we can avoid the traffic. But these conversations have to be made real in practical applications, because we talk about generalities for 50 years, but no one really starts a new university with serious money, right? Our universities are for sports or for money making, but they're not really to compete with a university that I just visited last week, that sadly someone I know is going to go there because it's HKUST was started in 1991 by the Hong Kong government with money from the Jockey Club, etc. The government said, it's the Pacific century, and the US was not doing so well. So they had Hong Kong returnees. They invested. And yet there were Hong Kong universities then, but they started a new one focused on science and engineering. And it became the top university in Asia in 20 years. Because they imported and they paid for high quality professors from Stanford and Berkeley. That's why I knew about it, because my friends were teachers there. My professor went there. He relocated there for at least 8 years. So we have to invest real money. Real people have to do it. We can't just talk about it here. So that's the problem. I think it's the conviction of actually doing it. And sadly, also, it's a dilemma, right? Because make money or just philanthropy. In the Philippines, sadly, I don't see as much philanthropy as in the United States, right? In other Asian countries, it's the government. So I don't know if you guys can convince our government to start a new university and say, okay, UP is good, let it be UP. But we have to start another one that's like HKUST without the bureaucracy of my own alma mater and the president of alumni is gone. No? But we have to just admit it. UP is not moving. It's too big. I don't know. Yeah. I'll be one of those talking too much. So I think we just have to do it.
Okay, we can accommodate one or two more questions. Yes, President Bing.
Paco, prior to your speech, I shared with you the fact that we have just completed this creativity center, which hopefully could be a venue for budding technopreneurs, I guess. What suggestions can you give in a very practical way for us to be able to promote, in fact, converting this space that we have, no, into precisely a venue where ideas can germinate? Can you point us to any particular organization or direction as to how we can achieve this? Because right now we're sort of going off on our own, talking to here, people like you, etc., and hopefully trying to get some momentum going. But what's a more direct impactful way of how we can accomplish this?
That's a very good question. In fact, I'm the new chair of Philippine Science and Technology Development Foundation because Dado Banata retired, right? And the problem Dado had was he was in the States, so it was hard for him to engage locally. But one of the things that we had to wake up to is like PhilDev served its purpose before to just sound alarms and say we have to invest in high tech. I think over the last 30 years we've been doing that. But now there's so many. There's so many investor groups, incubator groups. What I'm glad to see is, and that's why I recommended it, let's not think we're the best and we can do everything ourselves. So there's now like a STEM alliance. So I think together with use the STEM Alliance, PhilDev is just join them as well, the universities. We should work together and see like, okay, in your location, let's be the house, and then let's put some of our best people. Mom, you should hang out there more, make it cool. That's how some of the other places in Leviste became hotbeds for high tech. And then Charlie's Place also, right? It just became the cool place for the people in IT to hang out. And then startups would happen just in the bars. They talk and they and meet. My issue lang with so far a real estate play is unlike the Stanford and Berkeley places, they're beside universities. They're beside professors who do research and development. Because if they're in my company, I'm not really going to encourage my employees to hang out there all the time. I'll lose them, right? So it's tough, right? But if you have the university nearby, then it helps add some energy. People who are a little mad, they're thinking out of the box. Professors do that, but the professors I think need you also because you bring them down to earth. So one of the things we're trying to do at PhilDev is connect business people like you with these startups and these scientists and engineers so that what the startups and engineers work on are actually viable products, not pie in the sky. Oh, it would be so nice if this AI grooms my dog automatically and puts, I don't know, maybe it's a real app, but I'm just trying to give an example of something weird that maybe has no application. But you guys, you're a business. So I think make it cool. I don't know if you can just have training centers and if you won't have a university here in Rock. Oh, well, you do have Ateneo, right? So at least that have researchers and have business people and hang out and talk and then maybe make it a co-working space so that some people will pay and then they'll work there and then at least there's a reason for them to be there. And then we can keep talking, be part of the alliance.
All right, final question, PP Junjun.
You mentioned about the you got a sampling of the tests of students coming from DepEd. You got a sample of about 200, and you found out that their skill level, grade 11 was actually only between grade 2 and grade 8. Most of our basic education graduates come from the public school sector. So unless DepEd can reinvent itself really, I don't think we're going to get too far. Now, if you want to put up, for example, a private school, that's going to be very expensive. So perhaps the government can have a program whereby if your school can develop graduates or your graduates can pass very stringent tests, then they will give you the money to further improve and expand your your enrollment. No, and you can compete with the DepEd because frankly, if you ask me, DepEd is a bit hopeless. Your views on that?
Because there's AI all over the place, I will refuse to comment publicly, but but I guess we can't, what I'm realizing is we shouldn't give up hope. So I think do what you're doing in the private side. There's many private people trying to do this. Hopefully the government will give you some of the compensation needed to recover your expenses. But when we work with DepEd, so that this program that I did is with the DepEd, we engage when we have leadership that actually is trying hard also. So we don't choose a battle where the our our partner is not interested also in the real outcome. They're doing it for political reasons. Wag na lang. Don't waste your time. But if the politician is really a visionary and says, I want to really give jobs, increase the livelihood of my people, those are the people. And that's who we did this with. And they're thinking like you. Incentives. In fact, they even gave very unique. They gave MacBooks to the teachers. Apple was so amazed that this LGU that we're working at did that Apple from the States is looking at them. So we have to find leaders like them and work with them. And then if we can show that it works, maybe, just maybe, pray hard that DepEd will follow. At least some of the DepEd is broken up into division offices naman. So if you find that one division office that's working and the LGU is working, which we found in one place, we're gonna now show it to other mayors and see, okay, if this mayor is really thinking, then they'll work with us and then we'll pressure the DepEd to ride along. And then what we're doing in our companies, we're trying to give the DepEd all the tools and the materials so that their lives are easier. Like maybe the teacher's not as well equipped. Let's give them the materials and the tools so that they're better equipped. Even if they don't know how to teach math or English properly, we're giving them a tool so that they're almost like a proctor na lang. And then the students will learn really more from the service and the teachers a proctor to make sure that they actually just do the exercises. So we're still hacking this. I'm sure you have better ideas also. Just practical. We just have to be on the ground and work.
Yeah, I was given the go signal for the final question from PP Bimbo.
Hi, Paco. No, I'm part of a foundation that gives away some or a few tablets and what have you. No. Is there no global, national level program that really gives laptops to all these public school kids? Because all of this technology, unless they have a physical laptop that they can use, and our experience is after 1 month, the parents come to us with, ma'am, load. We need loads also. Okay, so again, that's cash out, particularly in the provinces. The parents of these young kids who are grade 3, grade 4, who finally have their hands on on a tablet, really don't have money for load. Isn't there one way we can work with PLDT or Globe or whoever to have a massive way to provide free load in a certain controlled environment, of course, no? Because unless you have both, we all know what they need, okay? And that is exposure to technology. And if at that level they don't have it, the digital divide gets bigger and bigger. No? Then the other thing is science high schools. I visited the Muntinlupa Science High School and I was really impressed with their facilities. Maybe we should have, I don't know, do we have science high schools in all the provinces or the big cities? Again, that program I think is very much needed. No? Thank you.
Thank you. I call him Tito Bimbo because he's a good friend of my father. And Bimbo, being the chairman of the Maribeni Foundation, we've been blessed to work with them. And like this thing that we're discussing now, we learn really as we go, sadly, right? You can't just have a miracle solution and then it works. So we worked with the Maribeni Foundation. We gave these computers. And we found out that teacher training is the key at the beginning. Because if the teachers don't know how to use it properly, and we don't train them properly, then ang gulo lang. The whole school is messy. They don't know what to do, and it becomes a place to, I don't know if you guys were with me and Jaza and Manny Panglin with Gilas before. You remember that 30 years ago? And then before that, Marojas with PCs or public schools. When we gave the computers without control, they went to Friendster, Dota, and porn. Imagine in the school, they were doing. So we gave them all of that, and then they were not using it for productive means. So we learn. So in the schools we're working with now, Tito Bimbo, we actually now, that if you notice the app I told you about, which thanks to you, we worked with them, we found out that we had to build a mobile app because they won't have enough computers. But you know, all these kids, because we ask them to log on to the system and we make the teachers require them, we found out that all of them really can connect. They'll find a way. Why? Because we know almost everybody's on Facebook. The question now is, with that limited access, that load problem, how do we give them a productive experience? So what we did is we built a mobile app. And so now with Marubeni, we could let them have our app on their mobile device. They can download the learning materials, and then they don't need to have load the rest of the day. So you're just making do with the little you have. So that we're just learning. We keep learning and learning. And then the other things on the devices, we're learning to do the data science to figure out, okay, what are the devices in each of the schools? And then on the price, right? If they don't use the device properly, because I can tell if I'm manager of the device, I can tell if you're just watching, your teacher's watching K-drama or she's really creating materials. I can tell you that. So we're learning. So we'd be happy to, again, work with anybody here, Rotary, your foundations, to hack the problem, because it will take time, right? And then we have to lobby, if not DepEd, lobby TESDA, because TESDA, at least the families are getting ready for work. And then hopefully we can change the paradigm of education, that you don't need to go to school sequentially, grade 9, grade 10, just take the course that you need so that you can get the job. So micro-credentialing is the other trend in education now. So just teach them how to use the tools that they need to do a better job. So there's a group now, AmDev with USAID. They're trying to do training to do better manufacturing. I think Unilab Foundation is in charge of this. So there are many good people doing these things.
Ako, I just want to backtrack a little and pursue the discussion on the property that we have. So we have a small building and we're trying to find a solution to push this creativity center. You said it should be near a university. Unfortunately, we're not near. We're near a shopping center, Rockwell. so, so, huh? I'm from the other school. So how do you work this out? Given what we have, we want to put it as a place, a melting pot for entrepreneurs to come in. But how do we achieve that?
Well, I can't give you concrete proposals now, but I think with FieldDev, we can come up with something, right? Because FieldDev, we mentor, we incubate. It's a nonprofit. FieldDev is a nonprofit. In fact, we're always looking for donations, fundraising. So that's what I meant. We should work as a consortium, right? So the FieldDev people can hold office in your place. Yeah, because we work in co-working spaces. It's a foundation. They work at home now. The pandemic, lower rental, and then we meet. We pay for the timeshare in KMC or wherever it is, just so that we have our business meetings. But we can do it in your place. I think your benefit is you are very central and you're the hottest property, with all due respect to the other property, that's the nicest place in the country right now for business. Yeah. But I'm the chairman. The executive director is a lady I'll introduce to you. And then I'm sure she'd be happy. She's QC based, but my vice chair, executive chair, lives in near Rockwell. So
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for your questions, and of course, Paco, for accommodating them. Now let's go to, or before that, I was just told that there will be an e-raffle, so stay before the adjournment. The prize is coffee maker, a coffee maker. It will be flash on the screen before the adjournment. Oh, you're doing it now? Okay. Rotarian Harley, but I think he has left. Okay, one more try. Michael, you're still here. You're a winner of a Kobe maker. Congratulations, Michael. All right, now let's proceed to the president's time, or sorry, the response. Please welcome again President Bing Matoto, followed by the adjournment.
Paulo, I'd like, on behalf of our Rotary Club and our members, I'd like to thank you again for this conversation, this discussion. And we look forward to working with PhilDev and STEM. See how we can collaborate in making our Creativity Center be another step in trying to promote, I guess, techpreneurs helping our society. Again, thank you very much, Paco. And we have a little something for you. I asked you earlier if you've seen our book. Well, we have this coffee table book first. This is for the 55 years, but as you heard earlier, we're actually completing our 58 years. Okay? And then this particular plaque, of certificate appreciation, you know, there's that silvery plaque that is going to be attached to a reef bud. Okay, that's going to go into the ocean, be able to help regenerate the coral reef. There are certain areas in the country that we have sort of are helping promote regeneration of coral reefs. And obviously, you need some wine as you go through our book and after a round of golf. Paco, by the way, is a great golfer. So we're looking forward, Sana. You can join us. We've got good golfers here, man. Huh? Okay. Can we give Paco a big hand, please? Thank you, Paco. Appreciate your time. Huh?
For the adjournment, President Bing. Adjournment, President Bing.
I'm adjourning now our meeting. Thank you.